Hey, welcome to our episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Continuing with all macro beer review month. Had to take a break from those fizzy yellow beers. Getting back to the Blue Moon line. This is the Blue Moon Valencia Grove Amber Ale. 5.9 ABV. Very generic description. Actually, I got the website right here. It has a little bit more details. For malts, pale Munich caramel, white wheat, and for hops, Hersbrucker. Our twist, Valencia orange peel, 16 IBUs, 5.9 ABV, and the usual, bullshit. So yeah, let's get into it. I mean, if you never know what type of glass to use, a mug like this is always like a good default. They call it amber ale. It's more of a copper orange. Amber is usually like a little bit more yellowy. It actually did have a big head when I poured it. I had like half the glass was head, so I had to wait for it. But, that goes to show you, it fizzled that much and there was like hardly any lacing on the glass using my Sunshine Fair mug here. Smells like an amber. In fact, that's all these Blue Moons that I've been reviewing for the last few weeks. They've all essentially just been amber ales with like a little bit of added something in it. I think regular, old-fashioned traditional Blue Moon, the Belgian white actually is a Belgian white, but I mean these other ones have all definitely been amber ale territory. But so yeah, it's pretty clear, slight bit of haze to it. Yeah, I mean as far as aroma, it smells like a very generic amber ale. Maybe get like a little bit of orange in there, but I mean not like a ton. It smells kind of sweet. It's not very, there's something off about it, so let's give it a taste. Cheers. Yeah, well, that's an amber ale, alright. At least this one, they have the, at least they have the, chutzpah to, flat out say, declare this one as an amber. I have a feeling all these Blue Moons are like really basic, similar recipes, and then they just kind of tweak them a little. So yeah, I mean, if you ever had an amber, it's got that kind of Oktoberfest kind of quality to it, a little bit of toffee, a little bit of caramel, just kind of general like toasty, nutty malt sweetness to it. The orange is very subtle. You only get it on the finish, and it's more of like orange juice concentrate than like any kind of spicy orange peel. There's certainly no yeast quality to it. Yeah, sweet, pretty well balanced. Well, actually it's not balanced. It's super malty, and it said it was only 16 IBUs. Really don't get much in the way of hops here. Not that I think you would. Although I think it would be kind of ballsy. I'd love to see Blue Moon Coors really do a Blue Moon like IPA. Hop on the bandwagon. Everybody else is doing it. I guess you do get a little bit of lacing on here. Mouthfeel's very smooth. Nice kind of medium body. Kind of I don't want to say a creamy texture, but fairly smooth texture. It's not crisp. It's a little thick. It goes down very easily. Leaves like a slight kind of not sticky, but just like this kind of like sort of like almost like a cough medicine type aftertaste. In fact, it does have a little bit of like a cough medicine taste to the beer. Yeah, this isn't bad actually. In fact, from the last few weeks doing all those fizzy yellow beers and even the other Blue Moons, this is actually a nice change of pace. The head has this weird kind of, I don't know if you guys can see this, like this kind of weird consistency to it. Looks like it's like little yeast flocculation or something like that. Although I think all their beers, yeah, it's got to be, they're all filtered, so it's not like it's bottle conditioned. I'm gonna say this really isn't bad. In fact, this, it's a pleasant surprise. I mean, I'm not saying it's a great beer, but it's decent. All right, so let's rate it on Rate Beer. Aroma, I mean, it smelled okay. that's really gonna be the dominant theme for this beer. I give it a 6 out of 10 on aroma. Appearance, you know what? Since it did get a little bit of lacing, it did have a big head at first. You know, pretty color. I give it a 4 out of 5. Taste, you know, I said, you know, tastes good. There's no, unlike the other ones, it's no off flavors. You do get a little bit of orange. So this one, I think of all the Blue Moon, you know, offshoot beers, it actually delivers on its promise. So yeah, and I think it's a good starter craft beer. You give this to give this to your mom or somebody like that. Taste, I'll give it a 6. Palate, you know, it's really drinkable. 5.9 ABV doesn't seem like that big of a beer. I mean, when you get in the high fives, you're up into like, you know, strong pale ale, like kind of and light IPA territory. I mean, Dogfish 60 minutes, 6% ABV. This doesn't have nearly as much flavor as that, although it is really drinkable. So I'll give it a 4 on palate. Overall, I'll give it a 12. That's a 3.2. That's a 5. You know, I'll give it a 13 just to give it a 6, which is a genuine thumbs up. So yeah, I mean, it's not a great beer, but compared to a lot of the other ones I've been doing lately, it's, you know, really darn good. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for Blue Moon Valencia Grove Amber. That does it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.